Do you know what Cream Fiend is? They sell NANGs, nitrous oxide canisters, for making cakes.
Yeah,
but they'll deliver them to you any time of day, night. So yeah, Cream Fiend.
Podcast. It's going to be a fucking train wreck.
I wouldn't say that.
Wow, Ethan.
Go.
We've got a fucking intro.
That took me so long to figure out how to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking retarded.
Yeah. Well, it's more than I would have done.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Which is nothing. So anything I
Don't do
is more than you would have done.
I had one job on this. Welcome to the podcast, Jarrod.
Yeah, welcome.
Oh, hi guys.
We've got Jarrod Moore on the pod.
No, good to be here. Good to be here.
He's our second favourite Jarrod after Jarrod Fogel.
Yeah. Well, you know, we got a lot in common.
Love eating sandwiches.
That's a joke.
Yeah, I had one job on this podcast, Jarrod, and it was to upload the podcast to like iTunes and Spotify and all that.
Right.
And it just never got done.
So where's it uploaded to?
Well, now Ethan took over that job as well.
Yeah. It just goes out on like an RSS feed, so it goes out on Spotify.
So you're going to say you like store it on hard drives and you're mailing out hard drives to people. It's just the most expensive and counterproductive way of doing
We
it.
haven't gotten to that stage yet. After we get Me Too'd, then we'll fucking have to move to that format.
I feel like we'd probably have a Me Too moment coming in after this podcast. Knowing what you're like, Jarrod.
More than likely.
Yeah.
More than likely. More than likely.
Yeah.
He's going to rape Mitch.
Yeah.
On air.
And it won't be the thing like raping me that'll get him in trouble.
No.
He'll go out later and joke about it, and that's where people will take offense.
Yeah.
No, people will be offended because I've raped you and you're a man. And it'll be making the gay community look bad. And that's why I'll get Me Too'd.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be a mess.
So is this live or is this?
No, it's not
recorded?
live.
Oh, thank fuck.
Yeah, thank
Oh,
fuck.
yeah.
I should have told you before we started.
Yeah.
It's not live. Anything that you say that you want to like cut out, you got like a week before we edit it and put it out. So if you're like,
Right.
that was pretty fucking bad.
Except for the Patreon users.
The Patreon gets the video like the raw feed. as it
Oh,
is.
okay.
But if there is something like really
You have a
bad-
Patreon?
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have
No
anyone?
one fucking subscribes. It's like
No,
you
we
get,
got-
like $6 a month.
Yeah.
That's
Got a
heaps.
couple.
Fucking rolling in it.
That's 6 people, isn't it? Because you do dollar.
We got one for $5 and
Nice.
yeah, and one's my girlfriend for $1.
Yeah.
Nice. That's so good.
Yeah. Killing the podcast game.
Tanya also wanted to donate $1. And I'm like, why? She's like, oh, because, like, you know,
It makes it look better.
makes it look better. I'm like, I am not giving Patreon 30 cents a month
Yeah.
just to look better.
It's that thing though, like if more people start jumping on board with it and people see that there's heaps of people subscribed, more people are likely to subscribe. 'Cause
Maybe.
People are fucking dumb sheep. They're like, it must be good.
That's why you got to go to one of those crowd hiring websites and just get a bunch of bots to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, I've thought about doing that for like the YouTube views and shit. And I'm like, I don't fucking care enough.
Right,
like,
right.
What's the point? The most
Yeah.
I've done is post this on like a Reddit on like Cunts Down Under, and it got like 700 views on one of the videos
Oh, really?
the other week. Yeah, and that's all I've done.
That's nice.
Marketing
Did they
wise.
like it?
Like it was pretty funny. The main like comment was like, "What the fuck is this garbage?" I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
That's very good.
And then other people were like, just talking about smoking weed or something. And they're like, "Oh, in America we call it snapping bowls."
Snapping bowls.
We were talking about punching cones.
Right.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, there was a bit of conversation going on about that, but yeah, that's about fucking it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never heard snapping bowls before. I like it, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Snapping bowls sounds like you took a fucking shit.
Yeah.
in Australia.
Yeah. Like, if I walked up to you and I'm like, oh, I just snapped a bowl, you'd be like, you sat on my toilet and broke it, didn't you, you fat fuck?
Pretty much, yeah.
Maybe there's a bit there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So yeah, we just fucking talk shit for an hour, basically, and then yeah, it's been going alright. I think this is like episode 41, something like
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
So is it weekly or
Weekly.
bi-weekly?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
We We had a little bit of a break when the whole Corona thing came out, and we were like, it might be the end of the world. Probably got other things to do rather than
He
podcast.
says this. He was just being a lazy cunt. And
I am
he
being.
was playing video games.
I was playing so many video games. I was playing fucking Dragon Ball Z, actually.
Oh,
We
really?
were talking about that earlier.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
them mad Dragon Ball Z figurines in here that no one can see because the camera setup's fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
can see
can't
like
get a
you can see
webcam.
like a little bit of orange.
Yeah.
But
A little bit of Goku leg there.
yeah.
Yeah. I need another webcam, but I can't fucking get any because everyone's working from home.
Yeah.
And they've bought out all the webcams. It's fucked.
Just so they can put funny fucking backgrounds behind them. That's
We're
the
gonna
only
be doing
reason.
that.
That's weird. My mum did that, was trying to set that up, and it was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Because it was like, because she's, she's white, and I'm white, and we're all really white, and our walls are white, so it was just like, yeah, you're part of the wall.
Yeah.
When, like, it's this shade of white is what our walls are, and the Zoom thing was like, yeah, your face is also that.
You're just
And
getting, like chroma keyed out.
yeah,
with
I
the
was getting
background.
basically chroma keyed out,
Yeah.
green screen my face. And it was insane. Yeah.
You should have just done blackface for your Zoom calls.
Yeah,
You would've been
well,
fine.
that's what we've had to do. I'm not going to paint the walls. That's too fucking black walls. That's terrible. You need
Yeah.
white ones to reflect the light. But
Yeah.
blackface, it's good.
It's easy and it doesn't go away.
Yeah. It'll.
It's on the internet forever. As soon as you do blackface, you're fucked.
I'm hoping it'll come back in fashion.
Blackface.
Yeah.
It already has. I mean, you got the Prime Minister of Canada doing it.
Yeah.
Trudeau.
Yeah, he's like, it's just something about I have women in my cabinet now, and and then he's like, and I'm do blackface, and it's like, what? Well, perfectly balanced as all things should be. You know? It's like the
There's a
Thanos-
yin and there's a
Yeah,
yang.
Yeah.
It's like that Thanos meme where he's got the thing.
Yeah. That was funny as fuck because, he's super, left leaning.
He's the most
super
woke.
woke.
He's the most woke dude in the world.
Yeah.
Because like everyone who's, I'm pretty sure like, I'd say most people who are like woke are not. Like, it's just pretend.
Yeah, there's a reason that they're doing it, and it's not for caring about other people.
It's to hide their hundreds of rape allegations.
Yeah.
That's what. That's usually what it is.
Unlike us, where we just wear our rape allegations on our sleeves.
Yeah. Well, you just got to be honest. I think that's one trait everyone values is if you're honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Louis had have come out and told everyone that he likes to jerk off in front of like other comedians, like just sitting around in a podcast, just like, yeah, like that's what I'm into. I like to ambush my coworkers.
He wasn't ambushing, though. He was, asking them directly to their
No,
faces.
Yeah.
No, you can ambush people with a question, 100%. Like,
I suppose.
get someone
Put 'em
in
on-
like
well,
in
put
a
'em on
really
the spot.
put them on the spot.
It's
Like,
like those YouTube videos where it's like people in the middle of a shopping center and they ask people to marry them.
yeah,
what the
or
fuck?
or like those people like charity, like the charity people.
Yeah.
They're like when I was in defense, they used to always get me if I was outside in uniform.
No.
They're like, "Oh yeah, you're in uniform." And, like use that as an opening, and then I got to listen to their 5-minute spiel because they don't stop talking. And you're like, "Oh fuck, no, I don't want to sign up for your charity."
I used to be one of those cunts, so I know how to deal with them, and that is just to walk away.
I
Yeah.
just lie about my age to them.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I don't know why, but they have some rule where it's like you have to be 21 to
Yeah.
Yep, to donate.
to
Yeah.
donate to
Yeah.
things. I don't know why at 21 when 18 is the age for everything else, like drinking and
Yeah.
voting and whatever. But they're like 20.
It's probably fake, but it's like it's become like just the unwritten rule, so everyone just believes it now.
Right.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, because you can sign a contract.
Yeah,
being
I always
18.
lie about my age. I won't be able to get away with it for longer, but I look pretty young. So when they talk to me, I'm be like, I'm 12 years old, man. Just 12 years old and 6'4" or whatever I am.
Yeah.
Like, fucking,
Yeah, you're a tall motherfucker.
yeah, it's really hard to buy pants. I don't like
Yeah, it's
it.
hard to.
Same for him.
It's same for me, but the complete opposite. Like,
He has to buy your pants and then get them chopped.
yep.
Really? Well, you
Yeah.
can't extend them because there's no extra fabric. You can only
No.
reduce the fabric.
That's right.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I used to make. I made
Wouldn't you
the
write
joke.
a joke on that?
Yeah, I have to go shopping at Big and Tall, and then just get the tall removed from every pant, like set of pants that I buy.
Yeah, that's the insane thing as well. Is people have said to me like, just go to Big and Tall. It's like, but I'm not a fat fuck.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like tall and normal weight. Like,
Yeah.
it's not. I'm not like that shop just assumes that anyone who's tall
fat as fuck.
has to become fat as fuck. Like it's an unwritten, like you said, an unwritten rule.
Yeah.
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 Short people can't be fat either. Or if they are, people don't want to see them anyway, so they don't need pants.
Yeah.
Stay at home.
It's coming full circle back to Jarrod Fogel. At this point. That's where my mind's going. Like, was it the sandwiches or was it fucking all them kids?
Him in his big pants. Yeah.
I've got a new weight loss program for you, Mitchell. But it's the stress of knowing that the FBI is watching you.
Yeah.
That's what made him lose all those keys.
Yeah. Fuck, man. He got like shit and piss thrown at him like in prison.
Yeah.
They had him out in the yard and they had him like he was walking past all the normal like inmates and they just all threw shit and piss on him.
Normal as they throw shit and piss.
Yeah.
Like apes.
And then like he's like looked at the guards like this is fucked.
Oh, the guards don't care.
Yeah, no, and the guards are just like, I'm not going near you. You're covered in shit and piss. And he just had to sit up on a hill by himself.
My brother did nurses placement in the biggest maximum security prison in Australia.
Yeah.
So he got to meet Ivan Milat. So he actually met Ivan Milat, and he's met the guy who burnt down that nursing home. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
So that
Ivan Milat killed my auntie.
what?
Yeah, legit.
Wow.
They think.
They think.
Really?
It
Yeah.
hasn't been like proven, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it was around when
there's
he was
always
doing
like
it.
Yeah.
there's always like whenever they get like a serial killer, there's like they're like, oh, he probably did. We got him on 4, and he's in
Yeah.
prison for life or gets a death penalty if it's in another
Yeah.
country. And it's like, but we think he killed up to 80 people. And it's like, well, hold up. Why don't you? You only got him on 4. Like it's like
He's just like,
Those were the
close
sloppy
enough.
ones.
Yeah. the freaking
He got him. They got him on the 4 that got away too.
yeah.
Like the
Yeah, but
attempted murders.
They what's his name? Bloody Ted Bundy. They got him on like 12 murders, and he killed 90 something people.
They reckon it was in the triple digits. He was saying, he said to one of the police officers or someone, he goes, when they catch this person, it's going to be in like the triple digits. Like it'll be unlike anything anyone's ever seen before. And
Yeah.
he was, the reason why he never like disclosed any of the murders is because he was using it as a bargaining chip to get off death row.
Yeah. He didn't talk about it till the day he was.
I just remember doing MDMA that time, and then the next morning, fuckhead over here puts on like Ted Bundy documentary on
Oh, really?
Netflix. I'm like, this
fucking
is
great.
awful. I'm coming down.
Yeah.
This is bad. Why
That
are
was
we watching
great.
this shit?
That was a good documentary.
You fucking psycho.
He's-
Oh, I hated that documentary though. Not for the, like, it was an alright documentary, but it painted him as like this romantic sort of dude. So then you had all these art
that's how
hosts
he
just
would.
being like, "Oh, I love Ted Bundy" because they're trying to
Yeah.
be edgy, and it's like,
But that's
oh,
how he
fuck's
would.
sake.
That's how he would get them.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he would do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pretended he had a fucking broken leg and he had a puppy and shit and man.
I don't think he was that like attractive though. I think they hammed it up a
No,
bit.
it was like they got Zac Efron to play him in that movie, and it's like Zac Efron is way more attractive than Ted Bundy is
Yeah.
based on
Yeah.
that photo.
Yeah.
Like Zac Efron's like a 10.
I think it's more just the fact that people are willing to like help someone out if they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, he was just preying on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's that movie where Zac Efron plays him. There's a couple of scenes where Zac fucking like he looks just like him. Like it's uncanny.
Really? Oh yeah, yeah.
The scene where he comes out of the elevator and they're
Yeah.
doing that public thing.
He does.
He fucking look like him heaps.
I think that's why they picked him, because he looks very similar.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, with the prison thing and Jarrod Fogel, backtracking a bit, but yeah, it's like my brother said that the guards are like no different to the people who are in the prison as
Yeah.
Yeah,
well.
because
So
they're there all the time.
they don't give a shit about if people throwing piss and whatever.
Yeah.
Like
fuck no.
my girlfriend's dad was a prison warden, and he's not like that, but he had like boiling water thrown in his face.
Fuck.
Yeah, and that's when
Does
he
that
got.
fuck him up? Like,
No, he looks fine now.
Yeah.
But he it got. I mean, he's got PTSD, but it didn't give him face scarring or anything.
yeah,
but
that's lucky.
he's out of, he's not working there anymore, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd kind of be like the last straw for me. I'm like, I'm not going back there actually to work.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he got assaulted like 12 times or something in the 10 years he worked there. It was insane.
Fuck. And they don't get paid that well, do they?
No.
It's like just
It's just normal.
could be
It's just a
fucking
normal.
working.
It's just like a normal job. You
Yeah.
get paid the same if you worked at Coles.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah,
I was actually weird too because I was thinking about this just on my own. But I was like, they should make like every prison like a military camp, like in the way that you have to fucking just like run around and do everything, and you're always tired. Like never give them a chance to recover, because that'd stop so many issues. When you're tired, you're just like, "Ah, fuck it.
Yeah, have
whatever."
a bunch of fit fucking inmates.
Yeah.
ready to go.
Well,
at all
they're
times.
fucking.
That's
a lot of
good-
them. A
great
lot of them
idea.
probably are already fit though. All they do is
A lot
work
of them-
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of them do that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, there's workout yards and shit from there. But
Yeah.
I don't think like implementing a regime of keeping all your prisoners fit as fuck, ready to go, is
Well,
a great idea.
Like military prison, out at what's it called? I can't remember the suburb out in Sydney now.
Yeah,
Like that's all they do. Like you have to run, and like everywhere you go, you have to run. You have to ask for permission for everything you do.
yeah.
And it's like the most fucking. It's the worst of the worst thing you could ever go through. And there was a guy at our unit who was getting transported, and they're like like he's about to go to jail, and the family's like, oh, what'll happen? And the CEO's just like, well, he's going to lose a lot of weight. Like, he's going to come out ripped.
So what you're saying is you need to go. To
I need to go to
military
military prison.
yeah.
I never discharged.
He's
So.
going to come out being even better at committing crimes.
Yeah.
He's like, he went in there for assault, and when he gets out, he's going to be so strong.
Yeah, he's going to go out and start fighting for the UFC.
Yeah.
So you never actually discharged. You're still in service.
Well,
technically.
no, I've signed all the paperwork,
Oh.
but I didn't do the discharge. So like, they wanted to make me jump through all these hoops, and I'm like, no.
I can't jump.
Yeah.
I'm too
They're like,
fat.
oh no, you have to come here, and like I like returned all of my kitting, and they're like, oh, there's some shit missing. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, I can't sign the piece of paper. I'm like, I don't care, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's just like, that
Oh.
not usually the response I get. I'm like, well, that's the response you're getting, dude. And then there was this sergeant who's like ringing me up. He's like, you've got to come down to Sydney to like, so the CO can like give you your fucking piece of paper and shake your hand and stuff. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, just post it to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, but you've got to like sign out in like different, you got to walk around different parts of the base and say,
Yeah.
hi, I'm leaving the Air Force. Can you please sign this?
Do the whole song and dance and shit.
Yeah,
And you're-
And I'm
you're
like, where
depressed
does
as fuck at the time.
where does the paper? Yeah, I was
Yeah.
fucking like, yeah. And then I'm like, so where does this piece of paper go? And they're like, oh, it goes to Canberra. I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I handed the lady the piece of paper. I'm like, here's my piece of paper. And she's like, oh, some of it's not signed. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. She's like, okay. And just put it on a desk. And that
where
was
it's
it. Like,
Yeah.
They gave me my long service, paid me out for that, and fuck it. If I'm going to Holsworthy,
Oh, that's where it is.
I'd
He
gladly-
found the fucking
Yeah.
place, ladies and gentlemen.
Holsworthy.
He got there. Thank fuck. Jeez, that story went nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah. Nowhere fast.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
So yeah, if you're in defence, you don't actually have to fucking discharge or do any of that shit. You
For
can just
all our
like,
listeners in defence.
So when you quit, is that just a regular discharge, or is it like an honourable discharge? When you,
well, there's no such thing in defence.
There's an
Like in
honourable-
Australian, like
Really?
there's no like.
so that's just
honourable.
American bullshit.
Yeah, it's American. Like that's where it comes from. But I was like, I hurt my knee, and it really wasn't that bad, but it was just like a niggling thing over time, and it was on my records. And then I went on not long service, like leave without pay for 6 months, and then I was going to discharge. And then while I was on that leave without pay, they called me up and like, oh, you had this knee thing that never got resolved. We're medically discharging you. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, sick. Because it means like I get a white card, means like I got my long service leave paid out early because I only did 9.5 years. I was 6 months off the 10. So I got all my long service paid out pro rata. It's
What do you
fucking-
get if you get 10? You get a fucking pension or some shit? Or they got rid of
No. You still get long service,
Oh.
but you got to stay in for 10. And I was like, I'll lose more money staying in defence
Yep.
than, like, I ended up, because I left and got a well-paying job.
Yep. Anyway, the point of this show is we're trying to figure out like how, like what not to do in fucking comedy,
Right.
like how to not do comedy. That's the name of the show.
Right. So one of the things is you tell the premise of the show. You wait like 35 minutes
Yeah,
before you talk
exactly.
about the premise.
Yeah,
Right, gotcha.
yeah. To get everyone on the ball.
Yeah.
But like you had a break from comedy for a bit. Like you were not comedying. How do you do that?
How do you do what?
Just not comedy. Just
Oh yeah, I know. It's gonna like I was on a roll before. I was on a roll before COVID. Like I was doing some of the best stand-up sets I've ever done, and you know, James was getting that Watt Street room started up.
yeah,
and,
that was going well.
there was another room. I think Eddie was starting 2 more rooms. There was a bunch of rooms starting up in Newcastle, and
You're like I should probably try now.
yeah, and but some people were gonna book me or whatever. That would have been nice, but then all this happened.
Yep.
So
I remember saying to you, like, a couple of weeks before it all, like, shut down, I was like, all of a sudden you went from, like, just attacking the crowd and making it uncomfortable for everyone to, like, doing proper bits and fucking killing. Like, you get off stage and I'm like, holy fuck, dude, that was awesome. Like, watching, like, all of a sudden it was after Raw or leading up to Raw when you started just taking it more
it's
seriously
like
again.
leading up to Raw. Yeah, it was like I don't know. I didn't really take it serious because if you're just doing sets week on week and then you're not building towards anything and you don't get booked for anything, that's like, well, why the fuck do I care?
Yeah, it's disheartening.
Yeah, so I just stopped caring and
Yeah.
We all saw the effects of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't get me wrong. When I attacked the crowd, it was funny.
For you.
For me, and then it was funny.
It was funny for
And
some
the
of
three,
us.
and the comics up the back
The comics
enjoyed
up the
it.
back
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But the crowd didn't. Obviously, it made them intensely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That poorhouse gig, holy fuck, that was funny.
Which one?
The poorhouse, the one gig that we did at the poorhouse at Maitland.
What's the poorhouse?
It was that, or was it Maitland or was it fucking?
Yeah, no, it was Maitland.
Yeah, it was that.
Did I do that?
I'm pretty sure you were there, man. It was like the mic was like on tiles, and every time someone went to like pick up the mic, it would like crash on the tiles and shit, and just the crowd just didn't know what the fuck comedy was. Pretty much, it was real awkward.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I've tried to watch that set from that night.
oh, it's fucked. Yeah.
You're just like, oh my god, shut up, cunt.
I just
Go,
remember
get
the,
out,
the
get
night
out.
was
Yeah.
sort of building to a point like everyone was eating dick to begin with, and then it started coming up, and then you got on, and it just fucking killed all momentum of the show. It's just like a fucking like what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
We didn't get him back after that.
Nah.
It was hilarious.
And the MC was calling that dude a pedophile, and he was a teacher.
That's such a good bit. I like that. God, calling people in the crowd pedophiles is always so funny.
Oh man,
So fucking funny.
it's got to be one of the worst
Just
things.
accuse someone of being the worst, like saying you do the worst crime.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the worst one. Like there's nothing worse than being a pedophile, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just call a stranger in public that is so.
Didn't know he was the teacher before he called him that, and then the dude's like, "Yeah, I'm a teacher,"
And then he's like, time to double down.
"Yeah."
It's like, turn it up to 11. Let's go.
Oh, that was fucking.
So you used to do the comedy room at the uni.
Yeah, I
The comedy club.
ran the comedy club at uni. I couldn't find anyone to inherit it, so that's
yeah.
why it shut down.
Fair enough.
Basically, like, it's like no one in the comedy scene is at uni, not
Yeah.
a single person. And the only person I thought who was going to go to uni was Elliot, and he didn't end up going to uni, so he couldn't take the club. So
I started uni, I think, as it died, because the posters were like still up around the uni. It was like the fucking actual club with the spikes in it and shit. I was like, that's just fucking terrible.
Which
Let's
one
go
with
see
the
what this is about. The comedy club, and it was like on the poster was like a club with spikes on it.
Yep.
And shit. I'm like, oh, this is some good shit. Let's go
Yeah.
check what this is about. And like when I went to go,
people look at it and go,
I get what they're
it's a
doing.
club.
Yeah, very clever.
Very clever.
And Yeah, there was that one, and that one had already passed, and I was like waiting for new posters for like the next fucking comedy club.
Oh yeah, I
was
gave
gonna
no
go
one
check it
any
out.
warning.
And
when
it was
shut
just
down.
gone. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck happened to that? Damn.
Yeah.
That was before I started comedy.
The
so,
uni liked us as well.
Yeah.
They liked that we were doing shows, and like whenever someone would do, whenever like Matt O'Kine or someone else came down, I think it was Matt O'Kine and Nazim Hussein.
Yeah.
That guy. He came down, and they'd get us to open for them.
Oh, yeah.
They get one of us to open for them. So like Roger Lee opened for Matt O'Kine, and I forget who opened for that Matt guy, Matt Hussein or whatever.
Nazim Hussein.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I don't
Not
know.
like he's a huge comedian or anything.
Yeah, I don't watch or care about comedy, so I don't like. Yeah, I've never watched. I get made fun of. I get made fun of a lot by people in the scene.
You really?
And like Elliot, Luke, and James and whatnot will be like, "You've never watched a comedy special?" And I go, "Yeah, I've never watched a comedy special. I've watched like 3 in my entire life."
Have you not?
No,
Honestly.
I don't watch. I don't watch specials. I don't watch comedy. I don't
Yeah.
like watching comedy. I only like doing it, and I like going to see it live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that sort of view on shit. Like, I don't like watching sport of any kind. Like, it fucking bores the shit out of me, but I like doing stuff like
Yeah.
that. I couldn't watch surfing ever.
Oh yeah, no.
Fuck that.
And like watching cricket,
Yeah.
like fucking, it is the worst sport to watch.
I've sat down and watched a 5-day of cricket. I've actually sat down and
really?
watched, India versus
Were you camping
Australia.
or something? Like, what the
No,
fuck, man?
I was at my girlfriend's in Sydney. She was at school. That sounded way worse than
Yeah,
it actually
dude.
was. Yeah, I was about to I'd left school. I was about to go into defence, so I was spending a week with
Right.
her.
Which
She,
was in
like-
year 9 because...
So you
Yeah.
just left high school and she was in
uneducated.
primary school?
Yeah. Well, she had preschool and then daycare, like afternoon daycare. So.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But,
So just put the telly on, we'd watch cricket.
Yeah. Otherwise, she'd want to watch like Dora the Explorer or some shit.
and I can't. It just gets me too hard.
Yeah, like, oh man, I got a thing for Latino girls.
Oh man, they made I don't know if they've made it yet, but they made like a live action.
Yeah,
the Explorer.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
was
They picked like a 20-something-year-old actress who's
such a bad idea.
who is probably one of the hottest women who's ever existed.
Yeah, it was
And
the-
it's like she's playing like Dora's meant to be like 2 or something. Like she's not.
6.
Yeah, 6 or something.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, she's definitely 6.
I'm definitely watching it though. Like, 100%.
Ah,
I'm not
dude.
missing out.
The Rule 34 that's going to come out of that is going to be insane.
There would already be so much.
Yeah, there's
like
Yeah,
Dora the
I'm pretty
Explorer.
sure it was the chick who Justin Bieber was rooting before he got Christian. What's her name? She got a Latino name.
I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter.
Have you
Somebody-
seen Justin Bieber's priest?
What? He's priest.
Yeah, Justin Bieber's priest. He's got like his own personal like priest.
What is he now? What denomination?
I don't know.
Oh.
Catholic.
Nice.
He's
Anyway,
doing the Michael Jackson.
he's like
thing,
a
wants to
fucking-
relive his
well,
childhood.
Like this dude looks like a fit fucking surfy hipster dude. Like walks around just in shorts with like his dick root. He's everything I want to be apart from the religious side of it. You're like, that dude's got some fucking like skeletons in his closet. 100%. But you just don't know what I'm talking about
No,
because you've
no,
never seen him. So
no.
let's just move on.
Okay, let's do that. Fucking Stanhope's got a new special coming out,
Oh, sick.
which I'm pretty keen
Can't
to
wait
check out.
to not watch it.
Yeah. You've never seen any
Dude,
Dub Stanhope?
Stanhope's right up your alley.
I'm sure he is, but I will not be watching it. I don't like.
It's not
someone,
really comedy.
Someone
It's
sent me a
weird.
Mark Norman thing the other day. They were like, "You got to watch this, Mark Norman." I watched like 10 minutes of it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's funny, but it's, it's a stand-up special."
It's everything
Yeah.
that I'll never be, so I don't want to watch it.
Basically, basically.
You listen
I
to
get
it.
fucking upset when I watch like really, really good comedy. I'm like, fuck, there's never, not in a million
Yeah,
years.
you got to put it in the context of the crowd wants to be there.
Yeah.
It's nothing like doing open mics every
Nah,
week.
I reckon like Chappelle could go to Crown and Anchor.
Oh, Dave Chappelle could.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
Everyone
what I'm
will be like,
talking
it's
about.
Dave
That's
Chappelle.
one
Yeah.
of the best comedians in the world.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. Like
There's like
those people.
There's like local acts, not necessarily Newcastle, but around the Sydney area, Sydney, Newcastle, sort of east coast of Australia area, who can go to Crown and Anchor and make the rest of us look bad, like really bad.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, most of them have been doing it for fucking ages too,
Yeah.
and have put in heaps of hours.
Mm.
And I've done fuck all in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 years, and now this fucking spanner in the works with the whole COVID thing. It's
Yeah.
just like ruined all momentum, pretty much. Like I felt like I was starting to sort of figure it out a little bit, of
Right.
like what to do on stage, and like being a bit more comfortable on stage.
well, you won't suddenly become worse at stand up. Once everyone goes back, everyone will be like rusty,
Yeah,
but within like 2 weeks, everyone will be back to normal, basically.
doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I'm sure everyone will have some great, really original COVID-related bits.
I'm not doing
to
any.
do. I haven't written any. Actually, I've written bits that aren't about COVID.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone's doing. To be
Yeah.
honest, I don't think anyone's going to fucking try and
Oh,
write
they
COVID
will.
bits.
People
We
are
need a fucking like a foghorn or something to go off every time someone mentions
That's
COVID.
Jarrod. He is the foghorn
That's
that
fair.
goes off when you
Yeah.
start doing shitty bits. He's just like, ugh, from
yeah,
the fucking back of the room.
yeah.
Fucking cunt.
I do. Yeah, I love doing that.
I think you've fucking stumped me like 2 or 3 times.
Sorry, I'll stop doing that.
No, it's fine. I like it. It's funny as shit.
I
'cause
do it
it's
to
like-
I do it to everyone, and like I'll boo Elliot, and because he deserves it, and like if Luke does something, I'll boo him. I'll boo
Yeah.
anyone who does anything.
It's out of love. It's
Yeah,
not.
it's
It's
out
not a hatred thing.
Yeah, that's what I tell people.
Yeah. And then I go home and fucking
Yeah,
put holes in their voodoo dolls
Yeah,
that I've made of them.
Uh,
No, there was one time we were doing that bushfire relief gig at the Stag and Hunter, and it was in the middle of the day, and I got on stage and started just doing my fucking shitty act, and you're like, like yelled something out, and completely fucked up my flow, and I'm like,
Oh.
you know what? I'm just not even gonna do bits. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, no one did well.
No.
No one did well.
It was fucking
So, if
awful.
anyone doesn't know, at home for reference, they did. Someone's great idea was to do a stand-up show at fucking midday on Australia Day. In god, I had a lot of fun. Eddie wouldn't put me on the lineup. Everyone was
Yeah,
like,
that's-
I just kept asking Eddie. I was like, put me on the lineup. Trust me, I won't just insult you. And,
which is exactly what would have happened.
yeah, I would have insulted the idea of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. But yeah,
oh man, I was gonna do that show, but I ended up getting fucking munted the night before and didn't get
Oh,
up
man,
until
Mitch was fucked
11.
up. He was doing bongs and nangs and all sorts of shit. MDMA.
man, I keep seeing nangs everywhere. I don't
Yeah.
know. Is COVID like the season of
yeah.
nangs? Is that what's
That's it,
happening
man.
with
We're
COVID?
sponsored actually by Cream Fiend. Now that you bring that up.
They don't know what you're using it for. Is that?
Yeah.
Well, they do.
yeah.
They definitely do. But as long as you don't say it to them directly as they're handing over the package,
Right.
they don't give a fuck.
So we love whipped cream.
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
fucking love it.
Kitchen
Yeah.
accessories are fucking, it's my jam.
Can't it kill you? Like, I got a mate who did nangs
Yeah.
once, and he didn't die, but looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like,
They won't kill you.
It looks like they give you-
like your lips go a bit purple sometimes, and you fit out, and you can, but
fucking hell.
like
know
it's
the-
only asphyxiation.
The worst shit I've heard from it is like nerve damage from doing it too much because you're depriving like your brain of oxygen.
Right.
So yeah, some people have ended up a bit fucked up from that, but nothing you can't recover from. But they've got
We
like
hope.
serious addictions. They're going through like packs of the shit a day.
Yeah, no, I keep seeing nangs everywhere, just on the road.
Yeah.
Just literally in the middle of the road.
Fuck. So
Just
it's like-
nangs
Yeah.
on the road, and it's like people doing it in their car and just throwing it out the window.
Probably, yeah, as they're driving.
Yeah, bloody recycler. What are you doing? Yeah.
Oh, you can't recycle them.
But
that's
as
the thing I
if
heard.
they're made of steel, aren't they?
No, but they've got this shit inside them. It's like some plastic crap
Ah.
inside the canister. And yeah, it's funny because all the hippies love doing it. They care so much about the environment, but they're just fucking it up. There was like a Vice article about how nangs are fucking destroying the environment.
Ah,
'cause
yeah.
Vice is so woke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
There's
The
a-
last Vice article, or not article, like video I watched was that blonde chick who does all their sex ed ones
Yeah.
of her just fucking a rubber
that-
doll.
Oh,
Like,
that.
yeah. She's got mad titties.
No, her name's fucking the slut ever girl.
Yeah.
It's called Slut Ever or something.
Yeah.
Her name,
Yeah.
I forget what her name is, but she's on Pornhub as well. So,
Oh, is she?
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
she's
Does she
got-
do butt stuff?
No, there's only one video of her, and it's not great. But you
Ah.
do get to see her naked.
Yeah.
So, she.
That'll be Mitch's Fap of the Week.
I love seeing, like, finding someone who's not in porn on Pornhub. Like, that is
Yeah.
But
creme de la creme.
that video, right, where she's fucking a male doll, right, and then it's just on video, and she's like describing it to the camera, and it's like it's just on YouTube, and it's like,
Yeah.
is this legal? Like, what about like, is it?
Yeah.
It's education.
It's fucking YouTube, and it's
Yeah.
like it's not really. They're like it's educational. It's like, is it? Because it's like you're just,
Only a hot blonde chick can get away with that.
yeah.
I
there's
can't
no
get away
way.
with that.
No way you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
I don't know. It just comes off as like being like, oh, I'm going to teach people about pedophilia today, and what I'm going to do is go past the school
Yeah.
and
Here's my child doll that
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
from
yeah.
Japan.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, which is a thing now, which is crazy.
100%.
You can buy children dolls, and you know, a lot of people were saying like, oh, it doesn't. It actually, if you give it to the pedos, it will mean they won't offend. And
Yeah.
then that immediately just got blown out of the fucking water because they did.
Yeah.
In fact, it increased the rate of like offense. They
Yeah.
were like,
Because if a doll feels this
Fancy
fucking
that.
good,
If you nurture
how
a
great.
fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's a fucking doll. I think it's never going to be like.
Yeah.
I don't think any like dude who's got like a anime body pillow is going to be like, this is better than a real woman.
Oh, I don't know
I
about
don't
that.
know. It has its
Yeah.
benefits. It
They
doesn't-
don't yap back.
They can't.
Yeah, I knew you were going there.
They can't. They don't yap back.
Yeah.
They can't go to the police station.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't have to explain the bruises the next day at work.
Oh my fucking god!
I can't believe I'm the one making these jokes with Jarrod fucking Moore on the podcast.
Yeah. Hey, I like to play it. I like to play it safe these days on podcasts because I know what can happen. Is what.
You've been burned before.
Yeah, I've been thinking about starting Riff Boys again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
I decided it was getting too successful, and
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want people seeing it.
Sure it was.
Yeah. I mean, like we had like 200 consistent listeners, which was all right.
That's pretty good.
That is
Yeah.
pretty good, yeah.
And yeah, I was
That's
all-
probably in the top 1% of podcasts across the world
probably
when you think about it.
probably
For Newcastle. It's like
For-
you were
yeah.
number
for
one.
Newcastle. It's probably the top podcast.
Yeah.
No, there's like I'm sure there's some fucking podcasts made by. So that's the other thing as well. Is there's so many podcasts with like fan bases of like 30,000 people,
Yeah.
which is you can make a lot of money doing that, and that's a big audience. But you'll never hear of it if you don't know someone who's into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's
It's
like,
like Little Dum Dum Club, like ones
Yeah.
like that, where if you're not in the comedy scene,
well, the
you're
biggest
not gonna fucking know
the biggest
about it.
podcast in the world that makes the most money is that socialist one in America, Chapo Trap House,
Oh yeah,
and they make about $1 million a year.
yeah. They're not making more than Rogan though. There's
No,
no fucking way.
but they're the biggest. They're
But
the
apart
biggest
from yeah.
They're not affiliated with any station, so they're the biggest. Like, because I think Joe Rogan has his own thing. He's
No, you used
don't
to be on Death Squad, but not anymore.
right.
Yeah.
Well, they were the. They're
Didn't they
like.
just start that
Oh no,
just
no,
Red Bear? I don't know. Anyway,
they're the biggest Patreon
yeah,
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what.
that's
they
right.
Are.
There's that
But-
Patreon tier list where
yeah.
it's like Chapo and Cumtown and
Yeah,
fucking
Chapo, Come
last
Town,
podcast on the left,
Yeah.
all them fuckers.
and they only have an audience. They're the biggest podcast in the world. They only have an audience of like 500,000.
Yeah, that's still shitloads though.
Yeah, it is
Like, if you
heaps,
put
but
half
it's
a million
like
people in
no
one
one
place.
outside of like podcasting will know who they are.
Yeah,
if,
exactly.
So it's
if
like
$500,000, like if 500,000 people or even a portion of that are giving $1 each.
Yeah,
yeah, which
I mean,
is what happens.
I
Yeah.
give them money. I give them money. I give Come Down money. They're the only two podcasts I give money to.
You're a Chapo? Fucking hell, I
Yeah.
would not have picked
I'm
that.
heaps into Chapo. I love
Really?
Chapo. Yeah, it's one of my favorite podcasts.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
My favorite's Come Town, obviously.
Yeah, I've been into the Bastard Radio since that started.
Never heard of it.
Oh, okay, so it's fucking Tim Dillon, Nick Mullen, and Luis Gomez from Legion of Skanks.
That would be a good
Really?
podcast.
Yeah, it's
Is it
fucking
a
good.
regular one?
They're doing it like bi-weekly. I think they've
Right.
got like 3 episodes out now.
That's cool.
They're fucking it's pretty good. Like Nick is not dead inside on that one, so he's actually riffing again.
Yeah.
It's not just.
Do you listen to
fucking-
Cumtown as well?
I don't listen to it that much.
Right.
I've listened to a little bit of it.
I like it.
I
It's
like
very-
their like classic bits. Like their highlights are very good.
They still have some classic bits. Every couple of episodes, a classic bit comes out. But
Yeah,
they're masters of racism.
yeah,
Kings of racism.
yeah.
They turned it into an art form.
But it's not. They're
It's
not
not,
actually
yeah.
racist. They're
Yeah.
like ironically racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Cumtown
Yeah.
has made me. Cumtown and Legion of Skanks are two podcasts that have made me nearly crash my car laughing.
Yeah.
Like, so fucking, like, laughing to the point where I'm like, I nearly just hit a truck because I couldn't keep my fucking eyes open.
What a way to go.
Honestly, at that point in time,
That's
I
all
would have
I
been
could
fine
hope
with it.
Yeah, it's always like it's also like my phone like when I get in my car, my phone automatically connects to my thing and it starts playing whatever I was listening to last. And I have like my parents in my car, and then it just comes on, and then Nick Mullen's like I'm shitting in a woman's pussy or something,
Yeah.
and it's like that's the thing that first thing that comes through is or him going, "Oh, I'm Chinese" or something like that, and it's like that comes through. That's the first thing they hear, and they go, Is this what you listen
It's not
to?
in context, Mum.
So Legion of Skanks takes it one step further. They've got Hate Speech the Bear. Have you seen?
Hate Speech the
yeah.
Bear.
So have you seen
seen that
American History X?
No.
All right. So
Seriously, you haven't seen American History X?
No.
Oh, dude.
What's that about? Oh, is that the neo-Nazi movie?
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, the
Of course
start
I've-
like he's the postal man, the big fat dude, and he's singing that song.
Yeah.
So they took that song, they put it in like a Build-A-Bear,
Right.
and when you hit it in the stomach, it starts singing about Jews and niggers, and you're just like, Jesus fuck. So then they'll get black people on the show, and they'll say, hey, check this out.
That's so funny. That's such
Yeah.
a good bit.
Oh man, and then they've got like two black babies like continuously
no.
69ing on the table every episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the most offensive podcast on the planet. So I went on a trip, like a work trip to Brisbane. And I was like, fuck, I'm driving. I'm going to listen to Legion of Skanks. And I just had to warn him. I'm like, look, man, like it's a little bit blue. But like they're not actual racists or anything. And then the whole episode
Just the
was
N-word.
them just like
Yeah.
hate speech the bear, like N-words, like bring back like man.
I mean, it's not that bad if you compare it to shit that came before, like the Howard Stern show, where it'd be like, just on air, someone's getting sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Like that's just part of the thing. And it's
Yeah.
like, why don't you play with your pussy a little bit over there? That's
That's
what
a
it-
pretty good Howard Stern,
yeah, yeah.
actually.
And he'd be
Great.
like,
You sit on that civvy.
yeah, sit on
Yeah.
that symbiont, play with your pussy a little bit. That's all right.
He's a fucking creep.
Yeah, I know. And then they'd have that guy, Beetlejuice Green or whatever he's called, who's just got microencephaly, where his brain is
Microencephalitis.
that one where his brain is tiny,
Yeah.
and he's like they're like spell
Mitch
blue,
has
and he's
that.
like CLA or something. And he's like just
Oh, he's got that weird disease where it makes their teeth real big, but their forehead real small.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, what makes him real small? He's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
like, and he's like.
Yeah. And they're always angry. They're always down to
Yeah,
fight.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
watching one of those. I feel bad listening to Come Down or whatever, but then I go on Howard Stern, look at the best bits of Howard Stern. And it's like, how much further can you punch down than the most retarded person who's ever existed? Like you found like they found the one guy who's like
Oh man.
the most retarded. I want to know who he votes for as well. They got to ask him like political questions, how he sees the world.
Howard
Yeah.
Stern.
Yeah, no, not Howard Stern.
Oh,
the
the
little
retard.
retarded
Oh, yeah.
man.
The little retarded man.
Yeah, the little retarded man.
Man, I remember listening to Opie and Anthony, and they had the homeless dude with the guitar,
Yeah.
and he's this homeless dude, and he's like always fucking tuning and fiddling with this guitar, and they bring him in.
Is he addicted to heroin or something?
Yeah, he was like not well,
Uh.
and then they like fucking G'd him up so much that he ended up smashing this guitar, and it's the only thing that meant anything to him in his life, and all you heard was heavy breathing, just. And then like Anthony Cumia like, so that was all you had, wasn't it? He's like, yep. He was like, how do you feel? He's like, it's a pretty silly thing to do. He's like, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
That's fucking trash. And I bet you
Oh,
they
dude.
don't. I bet you they didn't pay him a cent.
Oh,
No, they
would've-
gave him
they
they
did.
gave him like a $800 brand new guitar.
They were
like,
good
after
like
they
that.
did
They
that.
do something super
Yeah.
fucked, but then they like. There's that video of
So
Opie
that's-
jumping on that homeless guy's cake, the cake stomping video. That
Yeah.
was like pretty viral.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Literally, all you're describing is a really abusive relationship.
Oh, dude.
Well,
It's
they're
like,
just on the
hey, they
street.
bought him, they tormented him and smashed the only thing he
And
loved,
they gave
and
him
then
money.
they
Yeah.
gave him a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like those fucking YouTube videos that are like, that Mr. Beast dude or whatever he's called.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we're going to smash my friend's car and then I'm going to buy him a new one. And then they just smash his car and he's like,
Oh,
he's like
fuck.
on the verge of tears and they go, we got you a new car. And then everyone's like, woo. And it's like, that one was fine. Like, why did you, like, that was, that, I only needed a
He
car
probably
to
had
go
to pay tax
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
new
yeah.
car too.
Yeah, it's like this. Oh, you got me. I had a cheap car that I could afford, and
Yeah.
you got me a $90,000 truck that's
Yeah.
going to cost 3 times as much to insure.
I can't
Like,
even afford the
Yeah,
insurance
yeah,
on
yeah.
this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm fucking broke.
yeah, it's like those little competitions things they have in the supermarket. It's like you can win a Mustang, a Ford
just
Mustang.
Give us your personal info.
Yeah, give your personal info. You might win a Mustang. It's
Yeah.
a kids with cancer thing, and it's like if I ever got this Mustang, it would cost way too much to insure, way too much to put petrol in,
Yeah.
and then I'd have to sell it. But then I'd feel like I still have to get the car and move it around and stuff. It's like I
Yeah.
feel like I'd just lose money.
You'd probably make money if you just straight up sold it.
Maybe.
But
You'd be able to sell a Mustang like straight off, like
Yeah.
no Ks. You'd be able to sell that sucker for at least $20.
Yeah, man. Probably.
Straight out there.
Fuck.
Best I can do. $30.
Yeah.
Final offer.
That's funny though, like, because those things are a scam to like take all your personal information. Like, they make way more money off selling everyone's fucking
Yeah.
mobile numbers to
But like
businesses.
Chinese terrorists and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily just people who want to fucking telemarket.
No such
shit.
thing as a Chinese terrorist.
We used
They
to get-
killed them all.
We used to get lists from that all the time at the fucking
Yeah.
fundraising things, just like from that shit. But
Wait, so you worked for one of those companies, and you can confirm they do
yeah,
sell
yeah.
them.
I worked
to...
for Mondial, who
Right.
were like, so there's these different telemarketing companies, and then they hire for like charities. We were doing like Save the Children and like Wildlife Foundation and shit. And I just used to get really stoned in the morning and then jump on the train and go in and raise money for the children because I'm a good dude.
Yeah.
I was a piece of shit.
So none of that money ever goes to.
Very little.
Nah, fuck all of it
Yeah.
does. It goes
Yeah.
to those those telemarketing companies.
Right.
And I got
Yeah.
like a fucking check in the mail a few years ago because they were underpaying all their staff.
Yeah.
And there was like a fucking inquiry into it. And I got like $200.
They're doing that shit.
That's pretty good.
They're doing that shit during like every major humanitarian crisis that's ever happened. They'd be like, "Oh, we raised $38 trillion,
Yeah.
and 95% of it will go to admin fees, and the rest will go to local taxes."
Yeah,
What
I
about-
was like the Red Cross bushfire.
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the fucking cathedral, Notre Dame?
Nice try, Mitchell.
Notre Dame? Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame?
He's fucking got it. Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
We've got
That's
a
still
regular-
not finished. They gave them billions of dollars. Still not finished.
Yeah, but it's an old church.
We've got a regular Notre Dame over here.
Fucking, it's an old church, yes, but you've got billions of dollars.
Yeah,
Do you know how many African children you could have bought with that money?
yeah. Well,
Oh,
they
man.
did. That's who's building the church. It's the African children. That's why it's taking so long, because they fucking suck at building shit. The kids. Because they're
children.
kids, to be clear. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not because they're black.
Yeah.
But the black probably doesn't help.
Well, that's why you could buy them.
They've got a special going, obviously.
You don't have to feed them much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already skinny.
Well, you don't have to feed them at all, because that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look at you weird when you try and give them food.
Yeah, that fucking all that fucking bullshit was a COVID app as well. I think you put a post up about it. It was like,
Oh, the COVID app.
yeah, how it's
Yeah,
like
all
you've
the-
already given away all
All the
your
people
fucking
who,
information.
the people, it was fucking insane how many people were jumping up and down over that app. I think only like 5 or 6 million people have downloaded it.
Yeah, it's
Which is
completely.
Heaps. It is heaps, but it's
But
like
it's not
that's
like, you don't have to.
That's 1/5 of the country.
Yeah,
Which is heaps. You know, maybe
That's-
it'll help.
yeah.
Maybe it will help. But it's like all the people who are jumping up and down over it are like, oh, the government's going to track me. It's like they've been tracking you since 9/11. Like
Yeah.
you've been tracked.
Do you remember the metadata that they were talking about? They're like, oh, we won't use it for anything. That's what they're using it for.
Yeah.
Like, they're tracking us.
What metadata?
Like, you remember the metadata laws years ago?
yeah.
Yeah. It's all that shit.
it's all
It's
just
like-
stored somewhere just in case you fuck up.
Anytime you've got location turned on your phone, that's all being used.
I feel sorry if I ever get done for anything. Someone has to go through my Pornhub history. It's just
fucking-
fuck.
You don't even
damn
have
it.
you don't even have to turn on your location settings on your phone.
Yeah.
Like Google can turn your phone on remotely.
Yeah.
Like it's
My issue with it is that, like, if that sort of shit becomes mandatory, that's when I'm like, nah, this is fucked. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's
Like,
like,
I don't have to have a smartphone.
yeah.
Yeah. But that's like the tip of the dick that they're
Mm.
gonna fuck everyone with eventually. But
Yeah.
it's like, what else do you do? Just fucking throw your phone away, go and live in the middle of fucking sticks.
Yeah, I wish
and build a hut.
all these entrepreneurs who are coming out about the COVID vaccine, which will never happen because you can't. They're not going to be able to make a vaccine for this COVID thing. But they're saying with the vaccine, they could just come out and say, hey, we're doing what we normally do with vaccines. We're bringing them out. But fucking Bill Gates is like, and we're putting chips in people's brains.
Yeah.
And it's like, just say the vaccine. Just do the vaccine. Don't be like, oh,
Yeah.
and we're also going to be putting... you have to get a tattoo on your wrist as well, like to say that you've had the vaccine. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, last time governments made people have tattoos on their wrists, it didn't work out so well.
No,
It was a good time.
200,000 people died last time that happened.
200,000, you reckon?
Yeah,
I
100,000
did
people
the
died.
maths. They can't
Yeah.
cook that many people a
10
day.
people, 10 people were killed.
That was actually
that
pretty
happened.
funny when they were like talking about how they were like running out of like crematoriums for like all the COVID patients and shit.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we can't keep up with the demand. It's like, well, then how did you burn all the Jews back in the day?
Oh, fuck.
They didn't have the technology back then either. Yeah,
Very true.
yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
Jared's a Holocaust denier.
I'm not a Holocaust denier. I'm just saying,
It
you know,
happened. There's
only
not
like
that
10
many.
people died. That's why,
It was a couple.
yeah.
It was a big war.
It was an isolated
yeah.
event. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much a camp as it was an empty field with nothing in it. That's what you could say. One could say.
Yeah, it was fake news.
Yeah, it was fake news.
100%.
Look, Nazi Germany didn't even exist. That's the other.
Germany's not a real country, just
Yeah,
like
didn't
Australia
exist.
isn't.
Yeah. Neither of
Like, we're not in Australia right now. Did you guys know that?
There's fucking Americans that don't believe that Australia exists.
I know,
It's fucking
exactly.
crazy.
Man, they don't know how much Americans don't watch news outside of America, so they have no fucking clue how much better the rest of the world is handling this virus.
Yeah.
I mean, by the rest of the world, I mean other developed countries.
Oh, hang
because-
on. We're doing
Yeah.
COVID news, are we?
Yeah,
I
we
got a
Right.
hotkey. So America, right? We're getting pretty fucked.
That is fucking gold.
There'll be more of those.
Oh man, I love it. I love it.
Should we start pulling our eyes back? Is that,
Yeah.
the next thing? I can do the accent as well, but
Oh man.
we have the camera here. If we want
Go
the full
ahead.
effect, we have to get. Do you have any tape?
Do it for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra racism for the Patreon
Yeah.
people.
They get
Yeah.
the whole visual experience.
Yeah.
But nah, America's getting fucked by COVID so hard.
Is it
Just
though?
it
I think
is.
it's getting better now. Like they've
Oh,
they've
what?
turned
They're
the
at
corner.
They're having like it's like a 9/11 every day.
It's
so it's
fucked.
like-
it's so bad.
It's
man.
like 90,000 dead so far.
Yeah.
An extra 1,500 every.
Yeah, but the numbers and the numbers
The
are
numbers.
allegedly inflated as well for a lot of that. Like there'll be a car crash,
But I've also heard
and the
that
person's also test positive.
I've
for
also
COVID.
heard that the numbers are underinflated. They're not accurately represented because they're straight up not counting people who weren't tested.
Who the fuck knows?
So-
Really, either way.
Well,
like,
it won't, none,
it's-
none of this
yeah.
shit will come out till like decades after
Yeah.
COVID happened. But certainly America, there are a lot of people dying in America.
Just from what I've seen of like the amount of people protesting and going out and just not giving a fuck about social distancing, it's like, yeah, it's not gonna go great for you guys.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
There,
Like,
there was people in
People are
Australia
doing that. People are doing that shit here. They're just
Yeah.
going doing whatever the fuck they want.
yeah,
Like the other day when restrictions were lifted a little bit, you can have people at your house, and you can. What else can you do? You can go to the shops again.
Yeah.
In small groups and stuff like that. But like the moment they were lifted, I went to the shops and it was like just
Yeah, it's just
packed.
chaos.
Just
Yeah.
fucking packed. And all the shops had person limits, but the shopping centers themselves don't. So you have all these people crammed together
Waiting to get into a shop.
yeah, waiting to get into the shop, but also just moving around the shopping center, and there's no security or anything making sure that there's not
Yeah.
they don't reach capacity inside the shops. Because I tell you, there's way more people not in shops than are in shops at any time.
yeah.
In a shopping center,
It's
Yeah.
so.
it's not built. They're not built for. They're built for cramming as many people in there. So
Yeah.
I can guarantee when there's going to be like a second wave, it'll happen at a Westfield or a Stockland or something.
Well, there was a second wave down in Victoria, I'm pretty sure, and it was like a McDonald's. It came from a McDonald's. Like
Yeah.
one of the workers had COVID,
But
and I'm
who-
like, if that's how I'm gonna die, I'll die in doing what I love, getting McDonald's and fast
Yeah.
food. Fuck, I love Macca's.
who's hanging out at Macca's during a pandemic?
Fucking mad dogs? That's who.
Yeah.
Cunts who do not give a fuck.
Mm.
The kind of person you'd want to fuck your mum.
Your mum not doing well since.
Yeah, look,
Look, man, I can step up if
she's
you need me to.
she's pretty lonely since Dad died.
I'm willing to fill those shoes.
Yeah, no worries.
She listens to this too. She's
Yeah,
gonna
she
fucking
does.
kill me
I hope so.
and maybe fuck me.
One or the other. Maybe both. That's how Dad died.
She fucked him to death.
Yeah, it wasn't cancer.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Oh god.
Made all that time in the hospital we spent together real awkward.
Fucking hell.
That is fucked. But you written any new bits?
Oh yeah, bits. Nah, I was like I've been trying, but fucking, I've been,
You're just
just
not
been trying
funny.
to fix the shit that I've like been trying to write.
Yeah.
I was doing that whole bit about like shaving and fucking like women not shaving their pussies and
Yeah.
that whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's real highbrow comedy. It's the way to go, I feel.
Yeah.
Hey, then yeah, I'm not going to diss it. But most at this point, 75% of my act is bestiality.
Yeah.
So
But
it just turned out that way.
for like, this is not to kiss you on the dick or anything, but probably the best joke about bestiality I've ever heard.
Mitch doesn't watch much comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, if
No, it's pretty good. The chicken bit's
yeah,
fucking
the
good.
chicken bit's great.
But yeah, I'm turning that one back on myself about the shaving thing. So I'm gonna
Right.
like come out and make the crowd think that I'm talking about women and how they don't
Ah.
shave and like attacking them.
And then you're going to reveal that you're in fact have a vagina.
yes, exactly, and that I don't shave it,
Yeah.
and that people don't want to go down on my little boy pussy.
Do you remember when I don't know if you've spoken about this, but that time you said tranny on stage?
Oh yeah, I did that a whole bunch.
Oh, okay, cool. That was top 10 favorite moments in stand-up comedy.
For you.
When-
You love that bit.
Yeah, when
Well, I'll bring it
you
back
said
just for you.
tranny in the context of, it wasn't like a transphobic thing. It was like, you were like, I want to have sex with them.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
But
explaining
it's
that.
because you said the word tranny, this dumb bitch in the audience was like,
Yeah, she got triggered.
now's the time.
It was what every comedian wants to happen. to
Here's
them.
what I've been training
She
for
was-
4 years at
Yeah.
uni, doing a degree for.
She was
Yeah.
dating the MC, whatever the fuck his name was. She was dating a stand-up comedian from
Yeah.
Sydney.
It's like, how do you do that and then not and be so offended? At
Yeah,
fucking jokes
You really can't have like
in context.
incredibly thin skin like
Yeah.
that. And who cares? Like,
It's fucking open mic.
Who are you saving?
But
Yeah.
the funny part was she was like, "I'm a fucking expert at this type of shit."
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, what at fucking comedy?
Dude, I was next to you that whole time.
Yeah,
You
you're
were
just
arguing.
soaking it up. Just like,
Yeah.
yes.
I moved silently over to where they were arguing, and I was like, just listening because it was like good content for me. And I was just listening to what she was saying. She was like, "I'm an expert," and it's like, what are your qualifications? She's like, "I study this at uni." And it's like, through
That
what,
actually
through
means
what
you're not an
degree?
expert.
Yeah, well, it
Means
means you're
you're
learning,
training.
but also that assumes that it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
gender studies is fake. It's not a real degree. It's a bullshit. It's a fake degree. It's not a
It's
real
like a
degree.
degree in memes. Like,
Yeah.
they're doing that. It's just to take your money. It's
Yeah.
Totally
that.
fucking meaningless. It's
Yeah.
like you do a degree to be a doctor, do a degree to be an engineer, do a fucking degree in philosophy or politics. They're all real things.
Yeah.
And then it's just gender studies is like that's like one lesson in a politics course.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
That they've
Like,
expanded into a whole degree basically.
you just be like, sometimes men and women don't get along. And
Oh, you can't
yeah.
say that. That's
Yeah.
you can't say men and women don't get along.
Yeah,
because-
because
There's
sometimes
more- 'cause
the
there's
men
more
are
than men
women.
and women, Mitchell.
No,
Yeah.
because that
Not
gives
just two genders.
that's giving men and women specific traits.
Yeah,
and you
you're
can't
right.
you can't give women or men specific traits that separate them outside of the context.
Fuck,
of,
it must be confusing because you got to be so vague around, like you're in gender studies, but you can't actually name the
use
genders you're
pronouns. Yeah.
using. So you just got to be like,
It's like constantly tap dancing on eggshells, but
yeah,
it's all gonna fucking crumble underneath itself.
it is
Well,
already.
no one takes it seriously anymore. The time when people were going off about like SJWs get triggered by Ben Shapiro or whatever, all that shit, that was way back in like 2015, 2016.
It's a dead meme at this
That's
point.
when that shit was happening, when Donald Trump was like going to go, and that's when all that culture war bullshit was happening.
Yeah.
And then after Donald Trump got into office, that everyone was just like, well,
Turns out the majority aren't those people.
yeah, and it was also like, well, talking about that shit doesn't help anyone.
Yeah.
Is what turned out, because it's like you can be whinging about not using the right one of the 67 genders, while there's this guy who's like, well, I'm homeless, so what are you going to do about that? It's
Yeah.
like, it's like
Yeah, and Trump's like, I'll get you a job
yeah.
building
It's
the
fucking
wall.
Okay,
first
and
world
then
issues.
the liberals will be like, oh, he he misgendered that homeless person or something.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well,
But they're the vocal minority. They
Yeah.
really are. Like, how often do you actually come across someone who's like proper, like fucking angry in your face? Like Ethan hit the fucking jackpot with that
Yeah.
crazy bitch, because you'd never ever meet. Like, I know people who are like pretty far left leaning, and even they are like, it's just
because
ridiculous.
it's like real like people who are in the real politics and politics of class and economics and whatnot. You know, I consider myself one of those people. I studied politics at university. I usually refer to myself as like a democratic socialist normally, or a national socialist.
or a Nazi.
Or
I'm an enlightened centrist myself, actually.
I'm an enlightened centrist too.
I'm fat.
I love that subreddit because it's just so fucking dumb.
But like that, outside of real politics, people don't take any of that like gender bullshit seriously,
No.
because it's like it's so irrelevant
Yeah.
to the average person.
And it's hypocritical in a way. Like, all that shit, it always comes back to like backfire and blow up in
Yeah.
their face, because you can't have one set of rules for one minority and then a different set of rules for the majority. So it always just fucking crumbles. There was like a huge internet drama thing that happened the other day. Some like trans chick who like dresses up as a deer or something like that, and like Twitch streams, and then she was like going off about how like white gamers are fucking white supremacists and all this shit.
Yeah, but they are.
But she doesn't
I mean,
get banned
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's white people. So it was like,
Right.
and now it's sort of like turning where
Yeah,
everyone's
but
like,
it's also
fuck
like
this bitch.
there are heaps of like white gamers who are white supremacists. There's heaps of different types of people in there. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Like if
but most people
if
are just
someone's
fucking, it's
been-
anonymous. You're
so-
behind
yeah,
the fucking.
if someone's been racist on 4chan or being racist
They're
on
fucking
fucking
trolling.
Xbox Live, they
Yeah.
either don't mean it, or if they do mean it, Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
It's some.
I think the majority of
It's
them do
some-
it just to stir the
Yeah,
pot.
it's some loser who lives in a basement,
Yeah.
and they're not going to be like, they're not going to be doing anything with it. You know,
Yeah.
they're not going to become politicians. They're probably not going to shoot up a school or a mosque.
Oh, maybe.
You know?
It depends on which country.
Yeah, it depends if it's, you know, maybe on 4chan they do that
Yeah.
sometimes, but
The ridiculousness of it is the fact that they're like, you can't talk. If you've got a point of view that we find abhorrent or don't agree with, you're not allowed to talk. And it's like, it does the complete opposite of what they want. Like, if you want people to not be racist, you need to talk to them about their views. There's this fucking black dude in America. I can't remember his name. But,
let's just call him the N-word.
yeah, Mr.
Just as a
N-word.
placeholder.
N-word Jim. He's converted like over 200 fucking white supremacists. And
What,
he did it by just being friends with them.
like-
He's just a black dude.
So
He's
they're
like-
gay now? Was that?
Yeah, like gay
Yeah.
conversion. It's like,
Yeah.
They're now white?
they're no longer. Oh, they're still white supremacists, but now they're gay. It's like- which, you know, that cancels out. If you're one type of minority, it cancels out any other bad thing that you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that Family Guy bit. It was like the chicks at the bar or some shit, like watching porn on a phone. Dude's like, you can't watch porn on your phone at the bar. Oh, actually, I'm transgender. Oh, okay then. Just do whatever you want.
That's very funny.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
Nail on the head.
What time we
Right
at?
there.
I don't know.
I meant to tell you my bit as well.
Oh, yeah.
what's your bit?
Go ahead.
I was fucking my wife the other night.
Ew.
And,
Gay.
And I was like a little bit puffed afterwards. But
A
she
little bit.
she had a great time. Like a really good time. She's
Oh,
like, wow.
is that the joke? Is that...
Yeah. But she's like, oh, wow. I'm like, yeah, I might be a fat fuck, but I fuck with like a skinny dude with asthma.
Nice.
That's your bit.
Yeah, that's my
I think it
bit.
needs some work, champ.
Tanya was like, oh my God, that is the best thing ever. She was
was
even
just happy
talking
to
it
get
up.
fucked.
Yeah. She was even talking it up yesterday. Wait till you hear the podcast and Mitch's new bit. And I was like, oh no.
It's hilarious, dude. I can't wait to hear you do it on stage. It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I gotta get you. Do you have the fucking breaking comedy book thing?
No.
Where it's like talking about like setups, punchlines, how to write jokes, that shit.
I can't read, so.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. Forgot you're retarded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's a fucking hour. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Jarrod.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Sorry, my mum sent me a text. She said it's my uncle's birthday and I have to be there for some reason.
Oh, fuck.
So
You got places to be.
got places to be with my bloody. Got to hang out with my uncle. He's having a BBQ, as
Fuck
they
yeah.
call it.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
The old Barbie.
Yeah, the old Barbie.
Oh, don't catch corona.
Don't get touched by your uncle.
Oh, very good.
Why would they invite him then?
Yeah, on a real note, he he used to viciously rape me.
Well, you'll be happy to see.
You'll be happy to know that
yeah.
he blasted my asshole out as a child.
Oh, he went to town on me.
Yeah.
Just full.
But since I've grown up, he's no longer into that thing.
yeah.
So we can have a real relationship now.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, save the best bits for the end. That's fucking classic.
Just cut it down. Do you cut this down?
We cut down the audio that goes out.
Yeah,
to,
mostly me just tripping over my own words.
yeah,
It's all
it
the
does
editing.
get edited.
We did that with Riff Boys. We'd always
Yeah.
just cut out.
Because if there's dead air and
Shit,
shit, no
yeah.
one wants to fucking hear that.
Nah.
And no one's a professional at this fucking level. But the raw footage does go out on Patreon
Nice.
with the video. So
Nice.
you guys, the Patreon listeners, get the full fucking shit, N-words and all.
Very good.
No, we don't bleep any N-words. I'm going to say the N-word.
Do you bleep? You don't bleep out the N-words?
No. Why?
No,
one
I believe-
listens to this shit.
The only time we said the N-word on Riff Boys was once, and I did it as like a... So, because Riff Boys is no longer on the internet at all.
Yeah, that's true. You deleted it
if I started again, I might put it all back up. But
Yeah.
the one episode where I did say the N-word was one of the funniest because it was like Elliot was on, or Luke was on, and one of them said something funny. Something funny that was racist. And we're laughing at that, and I was like, oh, you think that's racist? How about this? Bleep! just a long bleep. You heard the N and then bleep. I did say the word on air, and then it was just like, probably 2 minutes of them just cackling and being like, Jesus fuck, man. Just fuck. And they were like, you've got to get off the air. And it was like, and then a notification came up on my phone that I had put in. Because I was planning on saying the N-word that episode, and the notification on my phone, I'd actually put a calendar event that was like, delete the N-word from the episode. It's like, that's a notification that repeats weekly.
We need one of those for this show, I feel. It's getting a bit fucking off the rails.
I knew this episode was going to be special.
Yeah.
Every episode you're on is special, champ.
It was good. I had fun.
Yeah. You should upload fucking Riff Boys again.
Yeah.
Sounds like good shit. I'd like to check that one out.
Yeah.
Just the N-word episode.
Just the N-word episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Kill
All
it.
right. Love yous. Bye.